Hey guys, this is Cami with Southern Comfort. I'm out in the greenhouse. It's after 9 o'clock. Been out here for a while. You see that the greenhouse is bare. I took a lot of things out, but I've been mending the soil for about 3 weeks now. We've got some armyworms in here, and I took a lot of things out, and I'm starting to plant my seeds for the third time. I've been in here planting seeds again. I've got some in the house. Our weather is not being cooperative. It's been raining a lot. I mean, it just got finished raining again. Our grounds are saturated. But what I did is I took and put 13, 13, 13 into the soil. It's been cultivated in. And then I put garden lime. And then I also put some calcium nitrate. So that's nitrogen. That's lime. It's got lots of minerals into it. And then you got your fertilizer, 13, 13, 13. And I actually put an organic matter in here also. Got the name of it, but it was organic. So I've been planting seeds. The Angel sticks with me very closely. So I'm trying to replant my seeds again. It's hot, it's humid out here. It's raining every day. We got more rain coming, and it's actually terrible. The ground is totally just saturated. So the first time I have planted some hybrid carrots here, the sugar snacks, here into this bed. I've never planted carrots into the greenhouse. I've dug up some volunteer tomatoes into a raised bed and put them here and see how they're going to do. Of course, it's out of season. The Ross moss is going out. And then out into the raised beds outside, I planted some radishes, some kale. I've still got some more planting out there, but I'm getting my seeds started for the third time. I took some of the trays. I'm using different trays this time. It was just so hot and humid here. It was just creating algae. It just rotted my seeds. It's horrible. I've never been through this before. So I got these right here, and I decided, I've tried this my third time, so I'm going to take them inside. Tomorrow I'll take these inside. So I have some, let's see, I've got so much going on. Kale, chard here, and I put more seeds in there. I usually don't have to put 1 or 2 seeds. This is lettuce here. I planted my lettuce. It's just not working out. Even the marigolds are not looking like they normally do. They seem to have some radiation ordeals going on with them. It's probably not showing up, but it's like got little white specks onto them, and they're not even blooming out. I went ahead and planted some Space Maker cucumbers. Even my cucumbers in the garden did not do well this year. I'm just in awe on how bad they did. This has been a horrible season of growing, so I'm just jumping on it because our weather is cooling down, but it's hot and humid and rain, so it's really all over the place. I planted some onions, but because it's so hot and humid here, they're just not, the soil doesn't dry out. So you wet it and it stays wet. That's why I'm taking those other ones down there into the house and see if I can get better results, because this is not working. They were looking great, but they're, my experience with onions is that if it touches the ground, it ends up dying. I've trimmed them, but they're growing, but it's just not enough sunlight. It's too hot. It's humid. I've never seen it where this is just seed soil, like you see starting soil, and it's not even drying out. It's really crazy. Most of my lettuce didn't come up. I'm super surprised at that. Even the cabbages, I've got a couple of cabbages, and I had something munching on them last night. That's like horrible. But I've been kind of organizing the greenhouse, redoing it, getting prepared for fall. dumping out the soil, putting it into the raised beds, not wasting anything. This is where I plan on putting lettuce if I can get it to grow. I've got to put some, I'm amending it. So here you see the lime into this soil right here. The other containers here, the vertical planters, I put them out there into the Vega raised beds. And this one right here is a new one that I got off Facebook Marketing for 30 bucks. Can you believe that? It's 30 bucks. If you know how expensive these are, 30 bucks is pretty good. Angel, really? For real? You're so sweet. But and this is where I'm getting situated for spring. I've got that there, hoping to, like, when my plants had supposedly have grown, then I was gonna put them up there, and eventually I'll put up grow lights up there. I think that's gonna work out real good. I'm hoping it's gonna work out real good. That's the plan right there. Is then I'll put grow lights up underneath when my plants get going, to give them some light, because wintertime here on the southeast coast of North Carolina, especially when I got a tree behind me, it just blocks out the sunlight, and we get a lot of clouds, and you got to make it work. This is my lemon tree. I've already pulled in. I am preparing for fall, and it does good in the greenhouse. It's growing tremendously. I don't know what I'm going to do when this thing gets bigger. I got an orange tree outside. We've had so much rain, the ants got into it, so it's still outside. This is new here. I plan on putting my seeds on here, or even into the spring. I got a place I've just situated here, and so I can have this won't rust, it won't rot, and I'm looking forward to this right here. I got one of these outside to put container garden on it, put containers on it. I took up a tomato plant right there. It only had one bloom, decided to let it go. And these are bell peppers and Fullsview jalapenos. Our weather is doing horrible. The plants look great, but where is the blooms? So even when I had I believe it was Kentucky Wonders here, string beans, they didn't do hardly anything. This has been a horrible season for growing. I'm an experienced gardener, and when I say it's horrible, I say something's wrong, it's wrong, because I've never had a problem of growing anything. So, but I've got another potato coming up there. The potatoes I put in here, I just cut them off, put the vines off, left the potatoes in there. And so I'm not going to put anything running here onto the trellises. I plan on, hopefully, if I can get my onions to grow down there, I plan on putting onions on both sides. I'm getting very good at growing onions. It does take time, and it does take learning it. This plant right here is 1.5 years old. This is a Problemo jalapeno, and it does have a few blooms on there. It does have a few blooms, but it does have a few jalapenos on there. So I found out that once you let these plants, it's a 1.5 years old plant, it's not putting out as much, but it's still hanging on. I had a cayenne pepper sitting down here. It was this 1.5 years, it was putting out so much peppers, but I don't like a lot of hot stuff, and I just ended up taking 2 plants up and taking them out of the greenhouse. I took a lot of the peppers off, and they're in the house at the moment, and I'm drying them out. I'm just going to, chop them up, put them in the blender, and, if I need something hot, I've got that for spice. So I'm loving this, that I got that for 30 bucks. So that was a perfect space right there, since I'm not running anything onto the trellis. And then I've got this, I've emptied all this soil out this year, because the soil was in there for 2 years. Decided to put it into the raised bed outside, and then get some more soil and put in there. So I'm really looking forward to this right here. it's not going to rust. I paid pretty much for it, but it was used, and still I paid pretty much for it. Oh, and I put azomite. Azomite, it has a lot of minerals into it. That's why I have it still sitting there, because I plan on making this video, and there's a heat mat. So I'm just kind of preparing for fall. But I put lime, 13, 13, 13, and garden soil, and azomite. It has a lot of minerals into it. I'm always amending my soil. So this is the first time ever that I've seen this greenhouse be so bare. But with the armyworms came in, sometimes it's best to take your crop out, get rid of it, then deal with the pest that's consuming your garden or greenhouse. Sometimes it's just best to do that. So that's what I decided to do, especially when we're in August and there's no sense in fighting something other that's trying to take over something other. And that's why I always express, watch your plants. And I had something coming up and I couldn't watch them like I wanted to, like I tell everybody. But I couldn't, because honestly I had surgery and I just couldn't do it. And it doesn't take very long. It can happen overnight. As a matter of fact, I seen again flea beetles into this greenhouse. Now I'll be honest with you, I sprayed because you don't want those into your greenhouse or your garden either. And I went ahead and they wasn't there that morning, and in the afternoon they was there. And I was like, oh no. So I took and I sprayed in here some garden spray because there's not that many plants in here. I'm not sure how well these Space Maker cucumbers are going to do. They did very well. They grew up. That's why the string is still there, and they produce, and they didn't take up a whole lot of space. And I love that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to throw some seeds in here. You have nothing to lose if you throw seeds. So, and these volunteer tomatoes, I don't know if they'll do anything, but I don't even know the variety. But I put them there, and so I just love growing, and I couldn't help myself when I see a plant. It's so hard to let a plant just go to the wayside. So I made a space for 3 plants there, and we'll see how they do. And this is pretty much it, just preparing for fall. Just want to let you know that I am amending this soil. I have gotten some rabbits, so eventually, and when I get that situation, more in hand as far as catching the rabbit poo, then I will. My plan is for that to go into the greenhouse. But they just came in yesterday, and they do poop a lot, and I'm like, yay! I'm gonna be able to use that into the greenhouse. It's a cold fertilizer. It's not hot. But guys, I've seen this place looking like a jungle. But once again, if you get invaded with insects, the best thing to do is take your plants out, especially when the season's not far over. Take them out, amend the soil, and prepare for the next season. And that's what I'm doing now, preparing for the next season. So I'm super excited. These are hybrid carrots. I've never grown them before, especially with the rabbits. That will be, and I planted a raised bed outside and another raised bed. So I'm, looking forward to these coming up into the greenhouse to see how well they do. I'm always planting something new. I got seeds, and I'm always planting something new. If the bell pepper and the Fools You jalapenos do not do well over there, the plants look beautiful. But with our weather, if they don't do well, they will come out. I always say it like the mild jalapeno down there, plant that's 1.5 years old. They look beautiful, but when a plant does not do well or insects invades it, then I get it out. There's no, the season is, coming close to an end, and a plant doesn't look well, I get it out. I don't waste my soul. I don't waste my time. I just get it out. And, but when I see a baby plant it's hard for me to let it not, you know, not live. And so I try to salvage some of the plants um, that come up volunteer. I try very hard. If my seeds for the third time come up, then I'll have so many plants I don't know what to do, considering the ones that's inside. But I usually only put one or two, maybe just one, usually no more than two seeds. But this time I just threw them in there, kind of like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, who knows? Because I need some plants to get going for the fall season. Well, guys, thank you so much. I love you so much, and I love this greenhouse. And I'm so shocked to see it as bare as it is. If you stayed up with me, you know this is not normal. But our weather is not normal either. And I've always said that greenhouse in my garden is not doing good. I've always said the greenhouse is the way to go. So into the fall season, I'm putting my energy into the greenhouse to get something onto the table. Right now you see it's like 75 degrees here. But usually in this greenhouse, last year I stressed about it, we went into a drought, but this year it's not been worrisome at all. It's just that we wasn't in a drought, of course. We had so much rain, but it hasn't been as hot, not hot enough, and too wet for the plants to really like it. Well, thanks guys for watching. Just an update onto the greenhouse and our weather here on the southeast coast of North Carolina, preparing the greenhouse for the fall. You always want to go ahead and get prepared for the fall. I like to let this fertilizer, it looks like nothing's in here, but there's tons in here because all the minerals, the fertilizer is working, doing its good for the fall. And I can tell it's working because now these marigolds that's got little splotches onto them I think it's from the radiation, but they're starting to look good. And that's a tall marigold, so that's letting me know that my soil is getting good, really good. And I did test the pH, and my pH is perfect in here. So now all I got to do is keep pushing with this weather we have here, extreme weather, and so that I can get a great harvest. I'm looking forward to fall. I just want my plants to come up. See you on to the next video.